What I'd like to do now is talk about the future of AI, not just in GovCon in general, but also when we're talking about prompt engineering, right? So, what's kind of happening in the market overall? How are things changing, right? What does the future look like? Really, it looks like context, guys. And so, prompt engineering, right? We talk about prompting. We said it in the beginning. A prompt is the instructions that we give the AI, right? It's the what, it's the how. But there's this shift happening in the market right now to context engineering. And this is partially as AI tools get more and more agentic, right? Which means that they essentially have more liberty, more tools to act on their own and kind of automate processes. What's really important is that we put those AIs in an environment where they have access to all the context that they need, right? And I think, for us, just at a very base level, from a prompting perspective, context is really important too. We want to come in and we want to make sure that the AI has direct access to all the information that it needs to accomplish the task that we're asking it to accomplish, right? Everyone's heard of hallucinations, right? Everyone's heard of the AI kind of going out on a limb, being creative, making things up for us. And, in order to avoid that, the best philosophy is if we want accurate results, we just have to make sure that the AI has the appropriate information to give us the result that we're looking for, right? Whether that's a web search tool, if we want it to go out and, do deep research for us, or, whatever it might be, putting the AI in that context rich environment is super important. Whether, you're working with an agent or, just yourself, kind of in a simple chat tool as well. Now, this also relates to context window, which is interesting too. Ultimately, what the context window is, and we touched on it at a high level, but each AI model is going to have sort of a maximum amount of information of context that it can reliably work from at any given time. So, we talk about like NASA Soup, for instance, right? Obviously, huge RFP, tons of amendments, tons of documents that were associated with it. And if I were to take each and every one of those documents and just wholesale paste every single one into a chat, right? Well, the AI's context window is, we're going to exceed it. And the results that we get back are, the AI is going to start to walk all over the place a little bit. And so there's a number of strategies that we can use to avoid this, of course. But, it's something to consider, the context window. And so, definitely important to know, are you working with like a Claude model? Are you working with a GPT model? Some of the newer models that we've seen, like GPT 4.1, Gemini 2.5 Pro, these models have million token context windows, which, for reference is huge, very big context window. And they can reliably hold and work with a ton of information at once, which is awesome. But some of these other models, I personally really like Claude, for example, for writing, especially Claude 3.7. It has a smaller context window though, so you have to be careful how you approach that, that process. Now, when we get into this, a good analogy that I've kind of included here is really from directions into, a GPS system, right? Prompting is we're giving the AI those directions, right? We're giving it, like MapQuest directions. Print out, hey, turn left here, give me a table, incorporate this wind theme. But with context engineering, we kind of reframe this. We're thinking of this process like a GPS, right? We're giving it not only the turn by turn instructions, but we're also letting it, know the ground that it's driving on, right? In the GPS example, we're kind of giving it the car to drive around in. And so, we basically are giving the tool everything that it needs to not only make that right turn, but actually to know when to make that right turn and when to go straight and when to change lanes. So, really kind of giving the tool all the information that it needs there. Okay, guys, so I'm kind of off on a wild tear here. What does this actually mean for government contracting, right? So we want to support, or we want to use tools that allow us in government contracting to automate these processes, or of course add efficiency to these processes that are multi-step, complex processes, multi-stakeholder processes, right? And so you can think of this as, like proposal gate reviews that you see here, compliance reviews, pricing analysis. What's important is when we start thinking about it from a context perspective and really curating that contextual environment that the AI is operating in, we're kind of eliminating inconsistency or lack of simple flow across handoffs to different teams. One thing that I've seen really successful with our customers with Awarded AI is from the capture side in Awarded AI's pipeline, right? You can keep all your win themes and all your customer intel and your strengths and differentiators. Well, then the AI knows that, right? And when you start to draft content in the chat, for instance, or in another tool in Awarded AI, it's going to know, we can attach that opportunity, and now that handoff has become seamless. So we've given the AI the context, right, from the capture team right into the proposal. It also allows us to ensure that consistency, right? So it's repeatable, right? Time and time again, we're easily able to have high quality results. Kind of takes a little bit of that burden off of the user, the individual proposal writer or manager, to go through and curate, all of the context in an individual chat session, right? Tell the AI about your company, tell the AI about your past performance. We don't want to do that every time, right? And so context engineering, giving the AI all that context on the back end, or kind of allowing the AI to work from that is, really, really important. And of course, it just enables, the future of this technology, which is really, going to be agentic in nature.